Durag Wisdom here, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Earth Date Y2K 20.02.18. Just 258 days until our election. The music in the background is Bhopal by the late James Horner. I hate to say this, but I have some bad news. That's right. There is a chance that the Nazi traitor, birther, bastard, Penny Trump the evil clown may get reelected. I have a feeling. It's a bad, bad feeling. I'm losing a lot of sleep. That's right! Forget about the anti-Trumpist boos you hear if you watch Steve Colbert or Bill Maher. Forget about that. Are they going to be out there voting? There are at least 60 million or so, and I've said this before, Trump supporters out there who are going to vote for their God. 250%. And there are independents out there who may just put the creep over the line because of their ignorant notion that the economy is good for them. Good for the rich and the corporate thieves, but not for us. I did not get more back in my taxes last year. I lost money. And now that we have more billions in a deficit, we have a deficit here. Great economy, but a big giant deficit. It's been there forever, it seems. Wouldn't you say so? And this ballooning deficit is the result of Trump's socialism. I want to repeat that. Socialism to the rich. And he is already braying that he must cut social programs in order to make up for the debt. Yet the clueless and the rubes out there in the vast wasteland, the so-called independents, still insist that the economy is just humming under the massive tuchus of the Trump traitor. And here is where the news gets worse. Unlike the Trumpists, who are united behind their living pile of feces, the Democratic Party, on the other hand, is in disarray and going nuts because Bernie Sanders, the Democratic Socialist, is now the front runner. And to add insult to injury, the party's rules got rid of all the color in our candidates. Remember all that whole line of candidates we were all excited about? Candidates of color gone. We have 2 white women left, but at least they're women. And their rules done away with that. But at the same time, the Democratic rules are allowing a multi-billionaire named Bloomberg, who I'm very familiar with, folks. I'm a New York City resident and I was a New York City teacher. And I'm very familiar with this creep Bloomberg. And they're allowing him to buy his way onto the debate stage when they're in Nevada. And I believe they're doing this, and this is a conspiracy theory, they're doing this in order to sabotage their party's flirting with a socialist candidate. Goddess forbid. Once again, there may be a brokered Democratic convention where, just as they did 4 years ago, the Democratic Party will decide to run a candidate that no one wants, just to satisfy the powerful corporate wing in the party. And I have more conspiracy theories regarding this, because I personally believe that Bloomberg and Trump and the corporations and the right wing are working together with each other to destroy what's left of the Democratic Party. That's right. The Democratic Party is split between a progressive wing and a right wing, just as it was in Y2K16. And will the hypocritical corporate leaders of the party once again overturn the will of the people just so they can run a wishy-washy moderate candidate instead. How do you think this is going to work out for our country? How do you think the people who support Bernie Sanders are going to feel that they've been robbed again? I'm going to vote for whoever the Democratic Party runs. But if they run Bloomberg and I have to vote for him, I'm never going to forgive them for that. And it's going to make a resolve within me, and it should be for all of us, that we, the progressives, have to take over that party. That's right. Our nation has defined deviancy down. A good chance we're going to let a creep that locks up children in cages, calls Nazis good people, and believes that the planet is okay to burn may actually be reelected. Reelected! I only hope that if that happens, the Democrats somehow, someway get control of the Senate and keep control of the House. That's right. A thug, a traitor, be reelected, who is trying to overturn our constitutional democratic republic before our eyes, in public, because he wants us all to believe he's not doing anything wrong. He is helping us to define deviancy down. I will never, ever, ever call a Trump president of my country. Never, ever, ever accept any of his family as leaders in our society. Ever! The Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen, is at it again. And this time, if they allow the likes of a Bloomberg a pass, if they throw Bernie Sanders and his progressive agenda overboard into the stormy seas, we are likely to see the end of the USA as we know it, Democrats. The end. Because I don't think they really take it seriously that we have a traitorous dictator in the Oval Office. Because we're not going to let a Trump, we're not going to let a stinking lowlife piece of trash, a Trump, to destroy our United States of America. Are we? Are we Democrats? I want to know why people in this country are afraid of socialism. Democratic socialism, that is. And not afraid of fascism. We've had socialism in the USA for years. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA are socialism. Our tax system is socialism. All our vital services are paid for by our taxes together. Everybody. Socialism. Anytime you give government tax breaks to the rich and their corporations, that is socialism too. We've tried fascism. How is that working out for us, for our country? Why can't we try democratic socialism? I know. Let's just do some word juggling, okay? Let's juggle the words so people aren't so confused. Bernie Sanders is not a socialist. Well, he is a socialist, but he's really a socio-capitalist. Look, the guy is worth more than $1 million, right? And I'm certain that he owns private property. What the hell kind of socialist is that? Tell me. Tell me what kind of a socialist is that? That's right. Bernie is a socio-capitalist, aka democratic socialist, who believes in our right to make money and to have private property just as he has. Just as he has money-wise. But he also believes that we should share the wealth. That the government should be bigger in order to add the social programs that everybody needs. A socio-capitalist, aka democratic socialist, is a successful marriage of the two opposing economic systems and social systems. And they both work together, putting vital checks on each other. It's funny how these two opposing systems can be put together so that they work together. A socio-capitalist will support corporations and big business, but with regulations to keep them from destroying our planet. A socio-capitalist will support big business, but not without labor unions. I personally believe that if Bernie Sanders had called himself a socio-capitalist from the beginning, and I wrote to his campaign headquarters, and why don't you call him a socio-capitalist? Think they're going to listen to the likes of me? And if he called himself a socio-capitalist, he would not be running into problems today with how he labels himself. Personally, I don't care how he labels himself. I'm a democratic socialist. But here on YouTube, I call myself a socio-capitalist. Words, words, words. Hamlet. Remember Hamlet? Words, words, and words. That's right. We live in a great country. But it would be even greater if we weren't so ignorant about economics and social systems. And if we weren't so afraid of admitting just how socialist our country really is. Donald Trump is not a conservative, and the party who supports him is not the GOP. Donald Trump and his party are totalitarian fascist, religious extremist oligarchs who violate conservative principles daily. On the other side, the Democratic Party has two heads, one liberal and the other hypocritically moderate to the right. If it were up to Bloomberg and the world he represents and the Trumpists he represents, that's right, we'd have our two parties. One, the extremist Trumpist party, and the other, the former Democratic Party, now classic Republican, ironically enough. The party that we depend on to save us from the dictator is doing just the opposite and is once again putting us into Trump's dirty little hands. That's right, and it's consummately wrong.